Jong Suk and IU officially break up after 3 years. A beautiful love story ends in silence. The South Korean entertainment world has experienced countless shocking moments over the years, but very few announcements have shaken the industry as deeply as the confirmation that Jong Suk and IU have ended their 3-year relationship. What was once considered one of the most admired, steady, and beloved romances in K-biz has now come to a quiet, heartbreaking close, leaving fans around the world in disbelief. Although their agencies released the announcement discreetly, the news spread like wildfire within minutes, dominating social media feeds and generating millions of reactions across Asia. Hashtags tied to their breakup soared straight to the top of trending charts, and the global fan community collectively held its breath as more emotional and painful details began to emerge. This is the full story, one filled with sincerity, fear, exhaustion, and a sadness too human to ignore. 1. The breakup that threw K-biz into turmoil. In an industry where rumors often precede formal statements, the confirmation came with surprising abruptness. Both agencies released short, carefully written announcements stating that Jong Suk and IU had decided to part ways after 3 years of dating. There was no scandal mentioned, no dramatic accusation, just a simple declaration that the relationship had come to an end. But the quiet nature of the announcement only made the shock louder. Within minutes, online communities erupted with disbelief. This can't be real. They were the strongest couple in K-biz. They survived rumors, distance, hate comments. Why now? 4 years, the couple had been seen as a symbol of stability, a rare pair who balanced fame with genuine affection. And now, that symbol had suddenly shattered. 2. Fans react with shock, heartbreak, and an outpouring of support. As hashtags like #LeeJongSukIU, #IUBreakup, and #BizHeartbreak surged across multiple platforms, fans from all over the world expressed their sorrow. Some posted compilation videos of the couple's sweetest moments, while others shared emotional messages describing how their love story had inspired them. What stood out most was how collectively devastated yet respectful the response was. Although fans were stunned, very few reacted with anger. Instead, many left thoughtful, mature comments. Sometimes even the greatest love cannot survive the weight of life. I hope they both heal in their own time. They deserve peace. This is adult love, beautiful but fragile. The breakup wasn't a spectacle filled with drama. It felt like mourning something that had been genuinely meaningful. 3. The painful truth, a breakup without scandal, but heavy with emotion. Contrary to typical K-biz narratives, insiders quickly confirmed that the split had nothing to do with cheating, conflict, or betrayal. Instead, it was the result of a long internal struggle within the relationship. One insider famously revealed, "They kept choosing each other again and again. But in the end, reality was stronger than love." Those words resonated deeply. They painted a heartbreaking picture, not one of anger, but of two people holding on with everything they had, only to realize that some paths simply diverge no matter how much affection exists. 4 months, the couple had reportedly been trying to mend growing cracks. They had conversations late at night, tried adjusting their schedules, and reassured one another repeatedly. But the emotional strain kept building. They were exhausted, not with each other, but with life, obligations, and the fear of disappointing the other. It was the kind of breakup that hurt more because the love had not disappeared. 4. Jong Suk's emotional press conference leaves fans in tears. Not long after the initial announcement, journalists gathered in a small press room in Seoul, where Jong Suk appeared for the first time since the news broke. Wearing a simple black coat with noticeably pale skin and trembling hands, he looked like someone who had not slept all night. From the moment he took the microphone, his voice was unsteady. He stared at the floor as the cameras flashed relentlessly, each light capturing his heartbreak. He began with a whisper. "I thought love could overcome everything." His voice cracked, but he continued. "For a long time, I believed that no matter how difficult things became, we would stay together. But sometimes, love is not enough, no matter how much you give." Fans in the room openly shed tears. The raw vulnerability of his statement, his attempt to remain composed despite obvious pain, moved even reporters who were used to celebrity emotional breakdowns. He finished with a sentence that became one of the most quoted lines of the day. "I'm sorry I couldn't protect what we had." It was a rare, brutally honest confession, the kind that left a permanent mark on the hearts of fans. 5. IU breaks the silence with a handwritten letter full of tears. While Jong Suk faced cameras, IU chose a different approach. She posted a handwritten letter on her fan cafe, written with soft, rounded pen strokes that reflected her emotional state. She began by expressing gratitude for the years they spent together, describing the relationship as warm, comforting, and full of understanding. But as the letter continued, the tone shifted into something gently heartbreaking. As time passed, we realized we were growing in different directions. She then wrote a line that instantly went viral. He was my safe place, but even safe places can change. Fans described reading the letter as impossible without crying. IU's sincerity, the gentle sadness in her words, and her refusal to blame anyone made the breakup feel even more painful than any shocking scandal could have. 6. The weight of their schedules slowly pulled them apart. Behind the scenes, both were enduring intense workloads that left them exhausted, overwhelmed, and often physically distant. Jong Suk's overwhelming commitments. He spent much of the past year juggling lead roles in demanding film projects, international promotional tours, long shoots that lasted until dawn, script readings and action training. A staff member from his film team revealed. Every break, he checked his phone hoping for a message from her. When they were in different time zones, he looked more tired than we had ever seen him. IU's grueling year of music and endorsements. Meanwhile, IU was navigating a world tour, multiple brand campaigns, studio recordings, personal artistic projects, acting commitments. According to a close friend, she cried a lot during the tour, not because of stress, but because she felt them drifting apart and didn't know how to stop it. Their careers, the very passions that made them who they were, ironically became the forces that slowly separated them. 7. A deeper issue, different visions for the future. Beyond schedule conflicts, insiders confirmed a more profound emotional mismatch. Jong Suk wanted stability. At this stage in his life, he was reportedly thinking seriously about marriage. Friends claim he privately admitted, "I want a family someday. I don't want to wait too long." IU needed time to grow. IU, however, felt that she was not ready for such a commitment, not because she loved him any less, but because she still had creative ambitions. Her career was entering a major new chapter. She feared hurting him by not being able to dedicate herself fully. She didn't want to make promises she wasn't ready to keep. A friend summarized it perfectly. They loved each other deeply, but love doesn't erase fear. Their unspoken tension grew. Neither wanted to hold the other back, neither wanted to be the reason dreams were postponed. 8. Their final conversation, calm, mature, and devastating. The breakup did not involve a fight. According to a witness, their final conversation took place in a quiet cafe they used to visit when they first started dating. IU was seen wiping her eyes repeatedly. Jong Suk sat frozen, his hands tightly clenched on the table. But there were no raised voices, no accusations. It was a moment of two adults choosing what hurt less, not what they wanted. A bystander described it as the quietest heartbreak I've ever seen. When they stood up and walked out separately, it was clear that something precious had ended. 9. What happened after the breakup? Scenes that broke fans' hearts. Jong Suk's silent grief. A staff member revealed that after the press announcement, he stayed alone in the dressing room for an hour, staring at a photo of them taken during happier times. He whispered to himself, "This shouldn't have been our ending." No one dared to interrupt him. IU unable to sing through the pain. On her side, IU cancelled a private studio recording session. Her manager explained. She wanted to record a song for him. A song no one would ever hear. She held a bracelet he gave her on their first anniversary, but each time she tried to sing, her voice broke. Eventually, she placed the bracelet back in its velvet box and murmured, "Maybe someday, when it doesn't hurt this much." These behind-the-scenes stories were never meant for the public, yet they became testimonials of how real their love had been. 10. Words from the past that make the breakup even more painful. Over the years, fans had collected sweet phrases the couple shared during interviews or private recordings. One winter night, IU once told him, "If I ever lose myself, I hope you'll be the one to pull me back." And he responded softly, "Then don't worry. I'll always reach for you first." These moments, remembered by their friends, now feel like remnants of a love that was sincere but ultimately unsustainable. 11. Fans respond with maturity and compassion. Unlike many celebrity breakups that end in chaos, fans reacted with surprising grace. Instead of blame or anger, they offered empathy. Popular comments included, "Sometimes grown-up love means letting go." They didn't break up because they stopped loving. They broke up because they loved too carefully. I hope they find happiness in the paths ahead. This collective maturity created a respectful space for the couple to heal privately. 12. The final verdict, a beautiful love story that couldn't last. In the end, the breakup of Jong Suk and IU was not the result of scandal, betrayal, or anger. It was a story of two hearts exhausted by life, two people afraid of hurting each other, dreams pulling them in different directions, a love that remained soft, sincere, and gentle until the very last moment. It was not a tragic ending, but a quiet one, a moment where two adults chose peace over pressure. Their relationship may not have reached the fairy tale conclusion fans hoped for, but the tenderness they showed each other, before, during, and after the breakup, will remain in the memories of fans for years to come. Some love stories don't need forever to be beautiful. And theirs was one of them.